You'll find out about fountain pens and ballpoint pens in this age-old clash of traditional against contemporary, creative versus practical, and reusable versus disposable. Brought to you by the promotional product business that has been providing you pens of all kinds for the last 50 years. A brief overview of the history of ballpoint and fountain pens. The first fountain pen that could really be used was developed in 1884 by an insurance salesman named Lewis Waterman. But the oldest fountain pen that is known to still be in existence dates all the way back to 1702. The traditional quill pen has a history of over 1,000 years. It was first produced when innovators discovered the natural ink reserve found in the hollow channel of bird feathers and set out to duplicate it. The history of the fountain pen that we use today is based on this quill pen. John J. Loud, a leather tanner at the time, was the first person to patent the ballpoint pen in 1888. Loud wanted a pen that would write on his leather goods, so he set out to invent the ballpoint pen. His model was successful in working on rough surfaces, but it did not seem to be capable of producing letters in the traditional sense. It wasn't until 1938 that a disgruntled Hungarian newspaper editor submitted a patent application for the first regulated flow ballpoint pen to the British Patent Office. This invention, which is similar to the bespoke rollerball pens that we provide, revolutionized the world of pens forever. Find out more about the history of the ballpoint pen, including who invented it. How they carry it out. Ink may flow freely from the ink reservoir through the nib of a fountain pen thanks to the pen's design, the tip of the pen. When writing, the breadth of the strokes is determined by the speed of the pen as well as the angle of the nib, and even though the ink cartridges are disposable, they must be manually changed as they are used up. Ballpoint pens are the most common kind of pen used nowadays since they are seen to be more hygienic and convenient than fountain pens. These one-time use writing implements include an ink cartridge that is housed in a ball bearing at the tip of the writing instrument. Roll the tip of the pen in any direction, and a continuous line of ink will be produced. Which kind of pen do you think is the best? Now the decision is yours to make. You should use a fountain pen if you want precise control over the ink and expressive lines of varied widths that will wow your friends. On the other hand, you should use a ballpoint pen if you want something that requires little care, is disposable, and is simple to use and replace. It makes perfect sense to have one of each. And you can get them both at National Pen, as each have their advantages and disadvantages.